Now we start with the exercise 5D. The first question says define the like and unlike fractions and give 5 examples of each. So, what are like fractions and what are unlike fractions? Now, like fractions are those fractions which have the same denominator. Let me give you some examples. So these are the fractions with same denominators. Like the examples are, like I can say 4 by 5, 6 by 5, 2 by 5, 3 by 5, 8 by 5, and so on. All of these you can see the denominator is 5. So these are all like fractions. So what are like fractions? Like fractions are the ones which have the same denominator. Now look at the unlike fractions. What are unlike fractions? Suppose I write 3 by 4, 1 by 2, 5 by 6, 7 by 9. All these are unlike fractions. Why they are unlike fractions? Because their denominators are not the same. So the fractions which have the same denominator, they are called like fractions, and the fractions which have different denominators, they are called unlike fractions. In the second question, they have given you some fractions which are unlike. Now, what are unlike fractions? Those which have the different denominators. Can you see all the denominators are different? So these are unlike fractions. So they are asking you to convert these fractions into like fractions. So how can they become like fractions if their denominator is the same? It means I have to make their denominator same in order to convert them into like fractions. So this is very important, how to convert unlike fractions into like fractions, because all your other exercises are based on this only. All addition, subtraction you can do if you learn how to convert unlike fractions into like fractions. So what my work is here now is to convert this into like fractions. Means I have to make the denominator same. So how can I make the denominator same? So I will take the denominators here like 5, 10, 15 and 30 and take their LCM, least common multiple. Means I have to find such a number which goes on the table of 5 also, which is a multiple of 10 also, which is a multiple of 15 also, and which is a multiple of 30 also. एक ऐसा नंबर ढूंढना है जो 5 के टेबल पे भी जाता है, 10 के टेबल पे भी जाता है, 15 के टेबल पे भी जाता है और 30 के टेबल पे भी जाता है. That will be my common denominator for all these. So for this I'll take out the LCM. So you know how to take out the LCM. I have divide all these number with a single number outside here, and outside I can use only prime numbers. Like which are prime numbers? Which have only two factors, 1 and itself. So I'll start from the table of 2. So whichever numbers go on the table of 2, I will divide them. 5 will not go, so keep it like this only. Now 2 5s are 10. 15 will not go on 2, so cannot divide, and 2 15s is 30. So any number I can divide with 2 now? No. So I will take the next prime number, which is 3. So 3, 5 will not go on 3. This 5 also will not go in 3. So keep them the same. Now 3 5s is 15 and 3 5s are 15. Now which is the next prime number? 5, and all these will go on the table of 5. 5 1s are 1s are 1s are 1s are. So you have to keep on doing like this till you get 1 uh, on the last one. Okay, now whatever prime numbers you have used, you will multiply them. 2 multiply by 3 multiply by 5. So 2 3s are 6 and 6 5s are 30. So this is my LCM. It means the all these will have the denominator, least common denominator of all these will be 30. So it means all these fractions, I will make the denominator 30. Now if I have changed the denominator, I will have to change the numerators also. So this you have to keep in mind. So all these denominators will be equal to 30. Now I have to change the numerator also. But here you just keep in mind that the new numerators that I will use, that should form the equivalent fractions. Do you remember what are equivalent fractions? Which have the same value. And how do we get the equivalent fractions? By multiplying the numerator and denominator with the same number. Now see how I will change the numerator. So now see this 5 I have turned into 30. So how 5 has become 30? But if I multiply with 6, 5 6 are 30. So it means the numerator also I will multiply with 6 in order to get the equivalent fraction. So 3 6 are 18. So it means my first numerator will be 18. 18. Now come to the next one. Now again this 10 I have converted into 30. How it will become 30? If I multiply with 3. 10 3s are 30. So it means the numerator also I'll multiply with 3. So 7 3s are 21. So my new numerator will be 21. Now 15. How this 15 I can become 30? If I multiply with 2. 15 2s are 30. So it means the numerator also I'll multiply with 2. 8 2s are 16. Now 30 already is 30 here. So 11 will be the same. So what I have done? I have converted these fractions into equivalent fractions by multiplying the denominator and the numerator with the same number. So these are my new numerators and all of them will have the denominator 30. Now what the first fraction will become? It will become 18 by 30. And what the next fraction will become? 21 by 30. And 8 by 15 will become 16 by 30. And 11 by 30 is 11 by 30. Now what I have done, I have converted these unlike fractions into like fractions with the denominator, all having the denominator 30. So this is how we convert unlike fractions into like fractions. Now question number 3 is the same. As you can see, the denominators are different, so these are all unlike fractions and they are asking you to convert them into like fractions. So children, what we will do, I will find out a denominator which is same for all these fractions. I will find a least common denominator. So for that, what I will do, I will find out the LCM for these numbers. So how do we find LCM? I write all the denominators like this and start with dividing them with 2. So whichever numbers I can divide with 2, I can do that. 2 2s are 4, 2 4s are 8, 2 6 are 12 and 2 12s are 24. Now again I can divide these numbers with 2. So 2 1s are 2, 2 2s are 4, 2 3s are 6, 2 6 are 12. Now I can see some of the numbers I can divide with 2 again. So 2 1s are 2. This 3 I cannot divide by 2, so leave it like this only, and 2 3s are 6. Now no number I can divide with 2. Now I will use the next prime number. So this side we use only the prime numbers. We divide these numbers inside this house only with the prime numbers. Now after 2 the prime number is 3, so I can divide this with 3. So 3 1s are 3. So you have to keep on doing this till you get 1 at the last. Now to get the LCM, I will multiply all these numbers 2, 2, 2 and 3. So what do you get? 2 2s are 4, 4 2s are 8, 8 3s are 24. Now it means my LCM will be, LCM is 24, which means all these denominators will have all these fractions will have the denominator 24. Now children, you can do some guesswork also. In place of taking out the LCM, you should learn how to take out the LCM, but we can do some guesswork also here. How can I do that guesswork? Like all the denominators, which is the biggest denominator, the largest denominator is 24. So start saying its table. So 24 ones are 24. Start from 1. 24 ones are 24. Now look at this 24. Do you get 24 on other tables, on other numbers like 4k table with 24? Yes. 4 6 are 24, 8 3s are 24, 12 2s are 24. It means this 24 only will be my least common denominator. So now what I will do, this all these fractions will have the common denominator, which is 24. Now if I have changed the denominators of all these fractions, it means I have to change the numerators also, so that I get equivalent fractions. And how do we get equivalent fractions? By multiplying the denominator and the numerator with the same number. Now what I will see, that how this denominator has become 24. 4 6 are 24. It means the numerator also I'll multiply with 6. So 1 6 are 6. Now how this 8 is become 24? 8 3s are. It means 5 also I'll multiply with 3. 5 3s are 15. So 12, how 12 will become 24? Multiply by 2. So it means 7 also I'll multiply with 2. 7 2s are 14. And this is 24 only. So the numerator will remain the same. Now these are my new numerators, and all will have the denominator 24. So the first fraction will become 6 by 24. Second fraction is 15 by 24. Third fraction is 14 by 24 and 13 by 24. So all these unlike fractions I have converted into like fractions with the denominator, all having the denominator 24. Now the fourth question, in this question you are given fractions and you are asked to put the symbol of greater and lesser. If you look at the fourth question, you can see all the fractions. These fractions are like fractions, like fractions, like fractions, because they have the same denominator. Now when the fractions have the same denominator, you have to keep this rule in mind. When the denominators are same, then we will look at the numerators. So the bigger numerator makes the bigger fraction. So 8 is bigger, it means this fraction is bigger. So when the denominators are same, we look at the numerators, and the bigger numerator, the larger numerator makes the larger fraction. So 9 is bigger than 7. So it means this fraction is bigger than this fraction. Again, when the denominators are same, we will look at the numerators, and the numerator which is larger makes the larger fraction. So this 6 is bigger than 3, 6 is larger than 3, so this fraction is larger than this fraction. So what the rule is, if you have the same denominators, then the fraction with the larger numerator is the larger fraction. The larger numerator makes the fraction larger. Now if come to the fifth question, it's here also you have to put the sign of greater than and lesser than. Now in these fractions you can see that the numerators are same this time. Here the denominators were the same. So when the denominators are the same, the one with the greater numerator is the greater fraction. But when the numerators are the same, then I have to look at the denominators. Now the rule is the fraction with the smaller denominator makes the larger fraction. जब डिनोमिनेटर जिसका स्मॉल होगा वो fraction bigger होगी, that fraction will be larger. So here if I look at the denominators, the 4 is smaller, so this fraction is greater than this fraction. So again, if the numerators are same, then the fraction with the smaller denominator is a greater fraction. When the numerators are the same, then the fractions with smaller denominator is the greater fraction. So the rule again, if the denominator is same, then the then the fraction with greater numerator is the greater fraction, and when the numerators are same, then the fraction with smaller denominator is the greater fraction. Now in the question 6, and from question number 6 to 17 you are asked to compare the fractions, means you have to find out which fraction is bigger and which is smaller. So I will tell you two ways of comparing the fraction. The first way is you can cross multiply. If you are given two fractions, you can cross multiply them. Cross multiply. So what it means is, cross multiply means is 5 you multiply with 5, these two you multiply, cross multiply, this you multiply with this, and this you multiply with this. Now if I multiply this with this, 5 5s are 25, okay, and 4 7s is 28. So when I multiplied 4 with 7, 4 7, it's 28, and when I multiplied 5 with 5, 5 5s are 25. So which is bigger? This 28 is bigger. So it means this fraction is bigger than this fraction, because 28 is bigger. So 4 by 5 is bigger than 5 by 7. Now let me do one more example by using this method only of cross multiplication. So I have to compare these two fractions, so I will cross multiply, means 8, this 3 I'll multiply with 6, and this 5 I will multiply with 8. So 3 6 are 18, so 3 6 is 18, and 5 8 is 40, so 5 8 is 40. So which is bigger? This 40 is bigger and 18 is smaller, so for this 40 means that this fraction is bigger. So you can cross multiply and get the answer. Now what is the second method? The second method is, these, as you can see, these are unlike fractions, so convert them into like fractions. How? By taking out the common denominator. And how to take out the common denominator? Either by the method of LCM, like I'll start from 2, 2 3s are 6. Now these both will go on the table of 3, 3 3s are 9, 1s are 3, and 3 1s are 3. So you will get the LCM. 2 3s are, multiply these, 2 3s are 6, 6 3s are 18. So you will get the LCD 18. So this is one method. And how can you guess also? Like I told you, take the bigger denominator and starts its table. 9 1s are 9. Now do you get 9 on the table of 6? No, so it cannot be my LCM. So now 9 2s are 18. So 18, do you get 18 on the table of 6? Yes, so it means my LCM will be 18. So what it means is that 18. Now these both the denominators I will convert into 18, a common denominator. I will change the unlike fractions into like fractions, and both will have the denominator 18. Now I told you that if you are changing the denominator, it means you have to change the numerator also. How? By making them into equivalent fractions. Now I will see how 9 has become 18. multiplying with 2. So this also I'll multiply with 2. 4 2s are 8. So my first numerator will be 8. Now 6 3s are is 18. So it means 5 also I'll multiply with 3. 5 3s are 15. So this numerator is 8 and this numerator has become 15. So which is bigger than numerator? The 15 is bigger, and 15 belongs to which fraction? This fraction. It means this fraction is bigger than this fraction. This is the second method of comparing the fractions. Now look at this. Again I will take out the LCD, means least common denominator. So what did I tell? You can do the guesswork, like 15. Say the table of 15. 15 ones are 15. Do you get this 15 on the table of 12? No. So come to the next one. 15 twos are 30. Do you get this 30 on the table of 12? No. So 15 threes are 45. Do you get 45 on the table of 12? No. So next 15 fours are 60. Do you get 60 on the table of 12? Yes. 12 fives is 60. So both of them will have the denominator 60. Now both of them, the denominator will be 60. Now I have to change the numerators also so that they become equivalent fractions. So now 12, how 12 can become 60? By multiplying with 5. 12 5s are 60. It means numerator also I'll multiply with 5. 11 5s are 55. Now how this 15 will become 60? 15 fours are 60. So it means 13 also I multiply with 4. 13 fours is 52. So this numerator has become 55 and this numerator has become 52. And both of them are like fractions now because both of them have the denominator 60. So among the numerators, which one is bigger? 55 is bigger. So this fraction means, and 55 belongs to this fraction, so it means 11 by 12 is bigger than 13 by 15. So these are the two methods with which you can compare the fractions, either by cross multiplication or by turning the unlike fractions into like fractions and seeing the numerator which is bigger, that fraction will be bigger. Now we start with the 18th question. In this you are given some fractions and you are asked to arrange them in ascending order. As you know, ascending order, I have to rearrange these fractions starting from the smallest fraction. I have to arrange them in a order. Starting with the smallest fraction. Now you can see these are or unlike fractions. I cannot make out which fraction is bigger, which is smaller. So how can I make out which fraction is bigger, which is smaller, if all of them have the same denominator? So it means all these fractions, unlike fractions, I have to convert into like fractions first with the same denominator. So it means I have to first find out which common denominator they can have. So I will do a little guesswork. The first way is to take out the LCM, and I told you you can do some guesswork also. Now you can see which is the biggest denominator. 8. Start saying the table of 8. 8 ones are 8. Now do you get 8 on these three numbers, other three numbers? I get 8 on this, I get 8 on this. 2 4s are 8, 4 2s are 8, but I don't get 8 on the table of 6. So this cannot be my denominator, common denominator. Now 8 2s is 16. So 16 I can get on the table of 2. 2 8s are 16, 4 4s are 16, but 16 I cannot get on the table of 6. So this 16 also cannot be my common denominator. Now 8 3s is 24. Do you get 24 on the table of 2? Yes. 2 12s are, 4 8s are, 4 6s are, and 6 4s are 24. So and 8 3s are 24. So this 24 I can get on all these tables. So it means my least common denominator for all of them will be 24. So all these fractions will have the common denominator 24. Now if I have changed these denominators to 24, it means I have to change the numerators also to equivalent fractions. I have to change the numerators also so that they become equivalent fractions. Now I will see how this 2 denominator will become 24 by multiplying with 12. 2 12s are 24. It means this numerator also I'll multiply with 12. So 1 12 is 12. So my new numerator is 12. Now 4 6 are 24. If I multiply 4 with 6, I will get 24. It means the numerator also I'll multiply with 6. 3 6 are 18. Now 6, if I multiply with 4, 6 4s is 24. Now 5 also I'll multiply with 4. 5 4s will be 20. Now 8, if I multiply with 3, I'll get 24. 8 3s are 24. It means this numerator also I'll multiply with 3. 7 3s are 21. So these are the new numerators I have get, and all the fractions have the same denominator 24. Now out of these numerators, now I will see that which is the smallest one, because I have to put them in ascending order. So you can see 12 is the smallest numerator, then after that 18, and then after that 20, and then 21. So they are already in ascending order only. So but these are the new numerators I have arranged. Now I will arrange the question. That the question is to arrange these in ascending order. So 12 belongs to which fraction? This half, so it means this is the smallest. 18 belongs to 3 by 4, so next fraction is 3 by 4. 20 belongs to 5 by 6, so 5 by 6 will come next, and 21 7 by 8 will come next. So this is my answer. I have arranged these in ascending order. Now I will do the question number 23. In this you are asked to arrange these fractions given in descending order. It means descending order means I have to arrange them starting from the largest fraction, the greatest fraction. Now these are all unlike fractions. I cannot make out which fraction is bigger and which is smaller. So what is my first step? That I will change these unlike fractions into like fractions by deciding a common denominator for them. So what I will do to find out the common denominator, you can take out the LCM as I told you earlier, or you can do some guesswork. Again I will repeat how to do the guesswork. Like the largest denominator is 36, start saying the table of 36. 36 ones is 36. Now look at the other denominators. Do you get 36 on this table? 9, yes, 9 fours are 36. 12 12 threes are 36, and 18 twos are 36. I get 36 on all these tables also, and 36 ones is 36 only. So it means my common denominator will be 36. So all these I will convert into like fractions, and they will all have the common denominator 36. Now I have to change the numerators also to get the equivalent fractions. Now I will see how this 9 has become 36. 9 fours are, so it means 7 also I'll multiply with 4. So 7 fours is 28. Now how 12 will become 36? 12 threes are, it means 5 also I'll multiply with 3. 5 threes are 15. Now 18 twos is 36, so it means 11 multiplied with 2 will be 22. Now 36 ones are 36, so 17 ones are 17. Now these are the new numerators, and all of them have the denominator 36. Now I have to arrange them in descending order. So I'll start from the largest numerator. So the largest numerator is 28, then you have 22, then you have 17, and then you have 15. Okay, so 28, 22, then 17, and then 15. So but my question is to change these, arrange these in descending order. So 28 belongs to which fraction? 7/9. So 7 by 9 is the largest one. Then 22 belongs to which fraction? 11 by 18. So 11 by 18 will come next. Then 17 belongs to 17 by 36, and 15 belongs to 5 by 12. So this is my final answer. I have arranged them in descending order. Class, now the 26th question and 27th question, these both you have to arrange in descending order. As you can see in this 26th part, you can see all of them are having the numerator 1. So they all are having the numerator 1. And while doing the 4th and 5th question, I gave you a rule that when the numerators are the same, we look at the denominators, and the smaller denominator makes the bigger fraction. The denominator with which is smaller, that will make the greater fraction. So in this, if you can see which is the smallest denominator, this is the smallest denominator, 7. So it means this is the biggest fraction, this is the largest fraction. After 7, which is the next smaller bigger number, it's 9. So it means 1 by 9 will come next. Then after 9 is 12. So that will make the bigger fraction. Then 17. So 1 by 17. And then 1 by 23, and then 1 by 50. So you remember the rule that if the numerators are the same, the denominators with the smaller denominator makes the larger fraction. This is smaller, denominator is smaller than this, so this is larger fraction. This denominator is smaller than this, so this is larger fraction than this. This denominator is smaller than this, so this fraction is larger than this fraction. Now 27th question also is the same. As you can see, all of them are having the numerator 3. So I will look at the denominator, and the rule says the denominator which is the smallest, that will be, make the biggest fraction. So no, 4 is the smallest here, so 3 by 4 is the biggest fraction. Then with 5, 3 by 5, then 3 by 7, then 3 by 11, 3 by 13, and 3 by 17. So when the numerators are the same, the fraction with the smallest numerator is the biggest fraction. This denominator is smaller than this, so this fraction is bigger than this. This denominator is smaller than this, so this is bigger than this. This is how we put them in descending order. Now the question number 28, here you have a problem sum. They are saying Lalita read 30 pages of a book containing 100 pages. So their total pages in the book are 100, and Lalita has read 30 pages of that, and Sarita read 2/5 of the book. So 2/5 of the book, 2/5 of the book she has read, and Lalita has read 30 pages, and they are asking you who has read more pages. So as you can see, Lalita, they have given how many pages she has read, and for Sarita they have given you the fraction. So this fraction first I'll convert into the number of pages. Now look at this, 2/5 of the book. Of the book means the book had how many pages? 100 pages. So 2/5 of 100 pages she has read. And this type of sum we have done in the first exercise, like 2/5 of means multiply 100. So when you divide this, you will divide 5 2s are 10 and 0, and this comes to be 20 into 2 is 40 pages. So it means Sarita has read how many pages? 40 pages. Lalita has read how many pages? 30 pages. Who read more? It means Sarita has read more because she read 40 pages and while Rita read 30 pages. So how did I take out this 4 pages? 40 pages, 2 by 5 of the book. They have read, they are saying Sarita read 2 by 5 of the book. Of means multiply, and the book means the number of pages the book had, because we are talking about the pages. So 2 by 5 of 100 pages. So this both you cancel. 5 20s is 100 and 20 multiplied by 2 is 40. So this is how we get the answer. Now in the next question, 29th question, they are saying that Rafiq exercised 2 by 3 hour while Rohit exercised for 3 by 4 hours. So this is the fraction for which they exercised, and they are asking you who exercised for a longer time. So it means I have to compare the fractions. I have to compare that which fraction is bigger. Now I told you the two ways of comparing the fractions. If you are given two fractions, there are two ways. The first I told you was cross multiply. You cross multiply. 3 3s are 9 and 2 4s are 8. So you have to cross multiply, means you have to multiply this 2 and 4, you will get 8, and 3 and 3 you will get 9. So 9 is bigger than 8, so it means this fraction is bigger, and this fraction belongs to which person? To Rohit. So it means that Rohit exercised for longer time. Now I told you another method of comparing. What was that? By changing these unlike fractions into like fractions by taking out a common denominator for them. Like you can do the guesswork to get a common denominator. Say the table of 4, this is a bigger denominator. 4 ones are 4. Do you get 4 on the table of 3? No. So 4 twos are 8. Do you get 8 on the table of 3? No. So this cannot be my denominator. 4 3s are 12. So 12 you get on the table of 3. Yes. So 12 will be my common denominator. Now I have to change the numerators. So how 3 will become 12? By multiplying by 4. 3 4s are, so it means the numerator also I'll multiply with 4. 2 4s are 8. Now 4, how it will become 12? 4 3s are, and it means numerator also I multiply with 3. 3 3s are 9. So which number is bigger? 9. So 9 belongs to which fraction? 3 by 4, and 3 by 4 belongs to which person? Rohit. So it means Rohit exercised for a longer time. So there are two ways of getting the answer. First of all, we have to compare the fractions, and for comparing you can apply any of the method. And for the 30th question, they are saying in a school 20 students out of 25 passed in 6th A. So I'll convert this into a fraction. They are saying 20 students out of 25 passed in 6th A, while 24 out of 30 students passed in 6th B. So which section gave better results? So in this section A, there were 25 students and 20 passed out of them, and in 6B, out of 30 students, 24 have passed, and they are saying which section gave a better result. So what it means is that I have to compare the fractions. So I have to compare the fractions, and I told you two ways. So one is you can take out the denominator, or the other is you can convert this into like fractions, and the other was that you can take out the you can cross multiply also. So let's see if I get the answer. I'll use a method of cross multiplication. Means 20 I have to multiply with 30, and 24 I have to multiply by 25. So when you multiply these two, you will get 600, and when you will multiply 25 and 24, 4 5s are 20, 10 and 50, and there also you get 600. So 25 24 multiplied by 25 also is 600, and 20 multiplied by 30 is 600. So it means both the fractions are equal. So both the fractions are equal. So what it means is that both the sections had the same result. So you can say both sections had the same result. So you compare the fractions. You can compare the fractions also by converting these unlike fractions into like fractions, the other method also.